Welcome back, everybody. It is yet another Monday. Happy Motivational Monday. Everybody have a good week. How was your weekend? Hope everybody had a blast. So, guys, listen. This is Unboxed Thoughts, Season 2, Episode 4. And first and foremost, I would like to give a big shout out and thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart to my good friend Dark Wolf, who's here every week. She's watching the show. She's constantly supporting it. She supports me in everything that I do. And she is actually the one who made, edited, and sent me the new introduction video. So, Dark Wolf, thank you so much. It came out banging. I absolutely love it. So if everybody would please just give Dark Wolf a huge shout out. She is here in the chats. If you don't know who Dark Wolf is, it is the Catherine in the chats, who is an absolute amazing friend, and I couldn't thank her enough. Thank you everybody for coming, joining me today for today's episode. For those of you who don't know, I was a special guest on Thursday for Alyssa's My Voice is My Power. And we were having a very, very great conversation about, how things have changed since we were children. And, I think, we didn't have really enough time to go through the whole deal. So I had invited Alyssa back on the show today just to talk more about exactly what is going on between the changes from childhood to now, um, things going on within the drug pandemic, going not only just in our areas, but also going on in schools as well. So thank you all for joining us. And most of all, Alyssa, if you wouldn't mind coming in.
Hey, everybody.
Hi,
Excited to be.
sweetheart.
Thank you for having
Happy
me.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
How are you today?
Doing great.
Alyssa, how was your weekend?
It was good. I mean, a little bit hectic, but today, Monday, was a great day.
You had a good motivation? That's great, man. I love hearing that people have a good Monday. What happened today?
Got a job.
You got a new job. Nice. Doing what, if you don't mind me asking?
Working as a cook at a restaurant here in Jewett. I had an interview prior this morning, and they weren't there. So, and I got a call later on, and they told me, will you come down and hired me on the spot. So today's a good day for me.
Sweet deal. So that's like a good example of one door closing and another one opening.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Alyssa, I appreciate you being here with me today to basically continue on our conversation that we were having on your show on Thursday. I think it's very important, just to for us to touch on these particular subjects. I don't know about you, but especially in this day and age with me, I kind of feel like I'm feeling what my parents and the two generations before us were feeling as times were changing, leading up to us. And it's absolutely nuts because like I was saying, the older I get, I'm finally starting to witness whether if it's changing around, this the city that I live in itself, school systems, the drug pandemic that's recent, going on for God knows how long now. So, Alyssa, do you what is like one of the biggest from the beginning of our lifetime to basically around now?
You cut out on me. I'm sorry about that. What'd you say?
Did I cut out? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
What if you had to pick one?
Mm-hmm.
What would you think is probably like one of the biggest changes that you've noticed since childhood to now. And we're going to talk about this for a little bit just to catch people up to speed on what we were talking about on Thursday. Go ahead.
A lot of the things I feel like that has changed, like, is the safety.
Yeah.
And worrying, because it worries me, like, with like when I was growing up, I didn't have to worry as much, you know what I mean? And like me seeing how it is now, especially with all like the nieces and nephews I got,
Yeah.
it scares me because like there's so many Amber Alerts like where I'm at. And from what I'm told, like now from New Hampshire, like we're New England area where you guys are at, it's scary. And honestly, I think the way it was back then, I feel it was a little bit safer, but that's my personal experience. I
Yep.
think that times are changing so drastically, and like you said, the drug pandemic is getting bad. And from my experience with the drug pandemic, um, I never did drugs in front of kids. Don't get me
Yep.
wrong, I have seen people do it in front of kids, but me
Mhm.
personally, I couldn't do it. And that's the biggest. It's just the biggest thing that's worrying me right now. And see, like, in Columbus when I moved down here, they're handing morphine, all that type stuff like candy.
Yep. Yeah. It's kind of crazy because of like, you know, we've talked about this before. I think me and you one on one,
Yes.
whereas to like nowadays, it's kind of fucking crazy how to, you know what I mean, on like how doctors are basically like also to blame nowadays for basically, pushing drugs and, not really evaluating everybody's conditions, to, the proper levels, you know what I mean? And and not only that, I'm gonna go another route real quick. Um, like even in our schools, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy because when I was growing up, I went to public schools, right? And I remember them telling us like, oh, like public schools are getting bad, you know what I mean? Like you need to go to like a Catholic school or like one of these other type of schools because like it's getting really bad. Maybe in a public school with like fights, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like fucking, you know, um, whatever the case is, all right? But I've noticed from then till now that even in Catholic schools, drugs are in there worse than public schools. Now, depending where you are, take that into consideration. Oh yeah, and by the way, guys, I also want to say too, real quick, just because it hit my mind. All right, just remember everything that I say, everything that I talk about. These are all. Every situation is going to be different, no matter where you are. Okay, I'm not technically always speaking on what's going on in our city or like whatever the case is. All right. Everything's got a different purpose. There's different scenarios for different situations. And I just want everybody to take that into consideration, please. I do know sometimes I'll be looking in my inbox and, I'll be seeing this, that, and the fucking other thing. You know what I mean? Fuck off. All right. Don't be taking things, uh, you know, take it all with a grain of salt. All right. So, yeah. So going back to what we were talking about, I'm sorry, I just had to get that out real quick. So Thursday we were talking about like, I think I used my child for an example. All right. When we were growing up, I mean, we were always outside. We were always
Yeah.
fucking out doing things. Yeah, we had our Nintendos, we had our Segas, we had our PlayStation 1s and stuff like that. All right. Um, but it was like we were always outside doing things. Whether if it was spring, summer, winter, fall, we were always doing things. Whereas to
Exactly.
Whereas to now, you know what I mean? It's like I'll see those videos coming out now. I think I did one too not too long ago on TikTok where it's like, this generation and then our generation, and then we come to the most current generation, and then it's like we all bump our shoulders and we're like, ah, fuck. Ow. And then you got this generation like, oh, my ass hurts. Like fucking ridiculous. All right. And, a lot of parents are out there basically, telling their kids, like, hey, you need to fucking go outside. You need to go play. The generation is just literally sitting in front of their goddamn TV screen, just fucking playing video games all goddamn day. And, like my oldest son, you know what I mean? Like, my kid's mother is the type where it's like she won't argue with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she won't tell him like, hey, fucking let's go. Like she'll take my other two to like go get dinner at a freaking wherever they go out to dinner. And then my oldest is basically staying home just because he's so, and she'll be telling me like, when he's with you, I don't get it. He don't have this problem. You know what I mean? You're goddamn right you don't have this fucking problem because I nipped that shit right in the bud right off the rip. You know what I mean? Whereas to her, instead of him going out to dinner with them and him staying home versus her telling him like, oh, well, you're going to stay home. You're going to make a sandwich. You're going to make a fucking Hot Pocket. You're going to cereal, whatever the case is. She'll still go out of the way and then turn around and be like, well, on the way back, do you want me to get you something from McDonald's? And it's like, no, like, don't fucking do that. I tell him right off the rip, let's go. Get the fucking ass going. You know what I mean? I'll just go right over there and rip the fucking cord out of his goddamn Xbox and like, this is what you're gonna fucking do. You know what I mean? Or like, clean up your goddamn room. You know what I mean? When you come home, don't be telling him, okay, you can go play your video games for an hour. And then, then you can do your homework. No, man. I'm the type of person where I'll tell you, you come home from school, you sit your ass right at that goddamn table where I can watch you. Get your homework done. Just get it done.
Get it done first.
Come home at 3:30. 3:30. And you can take an hour if you don't bitch and complain to do your homework, and you'll have the rest of the night to do whatever the hell you want to do. You know what I mean? Or like, trash needs to be taken out. Dishes need to be done. I'm cleaning up. You can help me pick up some things. You can move a vacuum cleaner. You know what I mean? And I find that a lot of parents these days they just don't want to deal with the fucking kids.
Exactly.
And this is what's going to go into what's wrong with this fucking generation. All right? Because when your kids are out there popping pills one day, shooting up fucking schools, or doing whatever the goddamn thing, and you're going to be the one sitting there like, oh my God, what have I done? I've tried to do everything, and why would you do this? And trust me, I know. My mother tells me that shit all the time. I'm 34 years old. All right? I'm 34 years old. And that's one thing that my mother told me that always sticks in the back of my mind. When I was out running the streets or like doing whatever, like, Nicholas, I don't know what the hell I did wrong. You know what I mean? I've thought I raised you, as a good mom and all that stuff. And you know what she did? My mother was a great mom. My stepfather was a great fucking dad. You know what I mean? It was just me rebelling for whatever reason, and I stressed all the time that God forbid, that's why I like when people watch this show. I hope that if there's something that I say gets through to everybody to, help you carry on, moving forward, that, that I'll be the example. You know what I mean? Because I don't want anybody wanting to have to witness anything tragic in order for them to have to fucking open their eyes. You know what I mean? Because 8.5 or 9 out of 10, unfortunately, that's what happens. Because that's what happened to me. You know what I mean? So having said that, it's just absolutely nuts to see these parents out there that just put a game in front of their kids just because of, oh, what's he doing today? Or what's he been doing? Oh, he's been great. He's been, playing video games.
Keeping
He's just been
quiet.
really quiet. You know what I mean? He's been great. Man, my kid would sit in front of the fucking TV watching video games all day. It's a beautiful day outside. Outside fucking playing. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell you, like, how many times when, like, people would watch my kids be like, yeah, they've been just on their tablet, doing whatever, and it's just like, but I want them outside. I don't want them constantly on here. You know what I mean? Because now, when it's time for me to get them, I'm going to have to friggin' get my dentist degree and stop pulling teeth because now I got to snap them out of mom series and then, get them refocused on me. And it's nuts because I'll hear it all the time. Like, oh, they only listen to you because they're afraid of you. Listen to me. You can call it afraid. You know what I call?
Respect.
Giving it respect. Right. You know what I mean? It's crazy now because all I got to do is just fucking look at them and be like, and they're all, I'm going, Dad. So it's nuts. You know what I mean? Because they know. It's not that I want my kids to be afraid of me. But on the other side, it's almost just like they have to have that little bit of fear. Right? Because we're here for what? We're not here to be a fucking friend.
We're here to be your parent.
We're here to be your parent first. And I think it was your mom last week or somebody that hit the nail right on the head. Where so we're a parent. They make friends at school, at the Boys and Girls Club, sports, whatever the case is. We're a parent first. All right. If we want to, befriend our children or whatever the case is, that's a bonus for them. Right.
But we got to make them remind them that we are the parent at the same time, because if not, they're going to walk all over us at the end of the day.
Right. Yep. And because we even talked about I feel like we've been like, cause it's a perfect example now, but I'll keep bringing it up just because that's what's on my mind fresh is that shooting that happened not too long ago.
Yeah.
Over in that Catholic school.
The one in Kentucky, right?
Was it in Kentucky with the transgender?
I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe watching on the other podcast.
Yeah, whereas to this person, like we don't know exactly like what went on and stuff like that, but it's crazy because the first time I see something like this happen, no matter where it is, I mean, I've told you guys, like, I'll start thinking about this, and then my mind just drifts off from one thing to another. You know what I mean? It's like just adds on. And I say all the time, like, and especially in that particular subject, where like that was a story being told. And the only thing that people are really noticing about it is someone just went into a school and started shooting the place, and I'm a firm believer that in some way, shape, or form, that incidents like this could be prevented, right? and then I will start talking about I'll start thinking about me, and then certain situations that led me up to being to what caused me to do harm to myself, to others, and stuff like this. And then I start thinking about my kids. Whereas to it's like nobody these days seems to like want to click and like fucking get with the program. You know what I mean? Whereas to
Mhm.
I see so many issues going on in the world that can be prevented. It starts with the parents. It starts at home. And it's like these kids, I feel, have no hope nowadays. No hope. I'm afraid for my kids to go to school. And the only thing that we can do really is try to teach them the best way we can. And you know what? I like, it haunts me knowing that it's important to me to get the point through to my kids now, because God forbid when that day comes where, you know, something happens or like whatever the case is, that there's going to be this particular point in time. You know, I hope it doesn't, but whereas to maybe one day my kids are going to get to that point where it's to like I'm telling them, you know, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. But then what's going to happen? It's like pushing the red, don't push the red button type shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And they're going to want to just push that little red button. You know what I mean? And it's a fear of mine knowing that they're going to have to find certain shit out the hard way. Like, no matter how much I tell them not to, or, you know, make sure you're safe in this area, or, you know, whatever the case is. I mean, it's a fear.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
always best to make them feel like they're comfortable to come and talk to you, because I believe that's another thing that kids are afraid to say anything. Like, okay, well, this is what's going on in school, and then they're afraid they're going to get yelled at because, you know, depending, you want to have that open relationship to where they feel comfortable, because so many times like depending on who it is, I'm not saying me or you or anybody that could be in this chat, but
Right.
making them feel comfortable to come and talk to you, because at the end of the day they're going to be like, I'm afraid to say something because, or just make them feel like they're comfortable because they don't have that, like they feel like they can't, like if you're busy working all the time, like, well, I can't talk to you, you're always working and you don't have time to talk to me. Always make that special time to make sure that they feel comfortable to come talk to you anytime, a message or note, anything, just make time for them.
You know, I am so happy that you just said that. Blaze, what's up? Oh, okay. I thought he was gonna say something, but yeah. So that's another thing that I was gonna touch on, is that, you know, I think it's very important to get to the point with our children to like, you know, you need to find that balance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking about, you know, the whole parent thing, you know, the whole friend thing and stuff like that. And I know that, like, when our kids go to school and stuff like that, the friends in school basically rub off on them just because, you know, they come from you know, not so good of a home, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, mommy and daddy type issues, you know what I mean? And then they go to school and, you know, they're beating people up, getting the same uh they're getting the same uh what am I trying to say? They're, they're rubbing off what's going on at home to the other kids in school.
Yes.
Whether, you know, whether if it's picking on kids, they're beating people up, they're constantly getting in trouble, you know, and then, you know, you got these fucking parents out there that are just like, well, I don't know. I don't get it. Let me tell you something. Okay? I've said this Thursday. I don't give a fuck what is going on with you personally as a parent. Okay? When you come around, now listen, when you come around and you don't know what's going on with your kids, and then, you're talking about, oh, well, listen, I can't be doing this with my kid because I work fucking 60 hours a week and, all this other shit. What about your weekends? Well, I like I was saying, I work all these hours per week, but I want to relax on my weekends. I fucking work too hard. Or if kids are getting suspended or in trouble. Well, I'm working. I can't keep fucking coming in and out of getting called in and out of work, to be fucking dragging my ass down to the school or to the Boys and Girls Club, the daycare, or whatever the case. My kid's not acting right. Well, what are you doing wrong? Maybe you don't want to give to maybe talk about what's going on with the kids in school, how their day was, what they've been up to. Is there anything bothering them? Is there something suspicious going on? Within the school that maybe you want to talk to mommy and daddy about. You know what I mean? They don't even want to do that.
Just taking time out to play like a board game with them. Just talk, a board game, or going for a car ride. Just
what the case is, what? But Alyssa, we have to go to a quick break.
okay.
We'll finish touching on that back, and then I want to talk about the drug issues that are going on in school. So guys, please stay right here. We'll be right back.
See you guys in a minute.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed that short break. So, guys, listen. Um, we're talking about our youth being completely fucked with this generation. All right. Um, we're talking about maybe the wrongs that are going on as far as parenting and how it's affecting our youth, their minds, the way they cope with things in this day and age. um, you know, things that we could possibly do to make it better, which in a nutshell, it's, better parenting, communicating with your kids better, making sure you have that understanding um, with you know your child, knowing exactly what's going on in their daily lives. Um, so I wanted to touch on real quick because I see the comments are going absolutely nuts. You guys know how much I love that, even if they're not questions and you're just elaborating on exactly what we're talking about here today. Alyssa, so on your show,
Yes.
I made a little boo boo. So on your show, I was talking about the fentanyl, the oxycontin that the FDA approved for children. And on your show, my little boo boo was I said on there that the FDA allowed OxyContin to be subscribed to children 10 and under.
Hmm.
I noticed it afterwards when I went back and watched it. It's actually 10 and up. 10 and up. Um,
I understand it. Trust me, you were just trying to get that information out there, which is great.
and yes, and you know what? That's fucking sickening.
It is.
Cause you know what? Like, number one, children shouldn't be having that shit. Period.
No.
You have every fucking medication under the sun to give these children that are um um non opiates and stuff like that. Whatever, your fucking Benadryl, your Motrin, which is ibuprofen, your Tylenols, shit like that. You know what I mean? And now, and this happened a while ago. I think it might have even happened when I first started this show, like around maybe November-ish, maybe even a little bit before that. But when we were talking on your show, like it just dawned on me, and little Timmy is 10 years old, gets a fucking knee surgery. Yeah, here you go. We're going to give you a fucking script for 10 milligrams Oxycontin.
They don't.
Do you think little Timmy's going to get that?
Me as a parent, I wouldn't give it to little Timmy.
Right. You know what I mean? Why? Because we're fucking smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we're smart. But a lot of people, once again, because they're not hip with today's world. They don't fucking know about it. Whatever their situation is, all they do, and they just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Where so just like, oh, yep, here you go. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, your kid's gonna be fucking stoned, and then they're gonna be growing up with a fucking drug addiction at an early age. Number one. Number two, they don't get the medication because you're over here just because you probably know that they don't need this. You know what I mean? That fucking, let me take this. You know what I mean? You're a 10-year-old. I know what kids should be having.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you your Motrin or your Tylenol. But on the other hand, I get your whole script of fucking Oxycontin.
Exactly, because
You know what I mean? You're over.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Or
with the whole situation with that they're going to be like, okay, well, mom or dad, why are you doing that? And then when they go back, they're going to make them like, okay, tell them that, we lost the prescription. Oh, they're still in pain and get more medication. That's coming from an addiction point of view because of my addiction. Well, hey, go say that, you're still hurting.
yeah. Or option C, they're just gonna be over here not giving it to their kids. They probably won't be taking it, but they'll be selling it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be selling it, and then they'll drag their kids' condition out for as long as they possibly can, just so they can keep getting this script. And you know what? You're the fucking problem. Just like every other drug dealer, fucking doctor, and everybody else who has this shit out on the fucking streets. You want to know why? Because now, even though you're not giving the medication to your kids, you're not taking them. But guess what? You still are. You're still labeled a fucking drug dealer and a fucking enabler. And now somebody, because of your stupidity, is going to be fucking hooked on drugs, or they're going to fucking end up dying. You know? And it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. I know, I've heard of issues where fucking kids are getting fucking, like, when I was going to school, it was just weed. Weed was sold in schools, no matter where the hell you went. You know what I mean? You smoke a bone before school. You go out the Durfee auditorium doors during lunchtime. You have the fucking security guys chasing you just so you and your buddies could take a quick ride real quick to go on a bone ride. You know what I mean? Before you're going back to school. You know what I mean? Like, this is shit that I grew up to. And I talk about it all the time. And you know what? It's not funny, but it is funny in a way, because the fentanyl problem.
Exactly.
The fentanyl problem on the perk 30s. All right. You're seeing them with the fucking, the A215s or the freaking M series, on the fucking news. And you're like, well, this is becoming a big fucking problem. Let me tell you something. I've been clean almost going on 7 years now. I knew about this shit 7 years ago. Why are you just fucking talking about it now? You guys are just catching up now? As far as I'm concerned, you guys are 7 years behind. You guys are 7 years behind from shit that I already knew.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You guys don't fucking pay attention to it. Why? Because you stupid motherfuckers are all making money off of it.
Exactly.
Well, if you're a doctor, pharmaceutical companies, and all this other shit. You're literally, all right, remember the whole conspiracy with 9/11?
Yeah.
When the freaking plane, and they're like, oh, well, it was conspiracy, like it was planned to have all those Americans dying because we're overpopulated and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, your belief as far as that goes, it is what it is, but it's ironic because, like, it's got similarities to what's going on right now with the fucking pandemic. You know it's a problem, but you think we're overpopulated? So you're just gonna let us fucking kill ourselves?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what's fucking going. Let them kill each other. Well, we're overpopulated. The economy is fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, we fucking need them to croak just so we could try to get ourselves back up to par. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Listen, let me tell you something. They passed a law. I forget. I think it's somewhere where they're lowering the populations in the jail. That you'll probably you'll only serve like 60 days in jail and you're out.
Yeah.
And then you're out, and like everyone's talking about the purge because overpopulation.
Yep.
These theories is crazy, but I'm gonna comment to you talking about in the school. I'm used to the whole weed thing. Then I seen that ecstasy come in, growing up.
Yep.
And with the whole fentanyl thing, truth be told, I'm a fortunate bad habit, and I pray about it because I know you. I'm not trying to push religion on you, but I have been that person that has seen it be put in stuff, and I give it away, and I am bad habit for that. And the person I knew what they're doing is called to get them to buy it more in the thrill of it. to get more money. They're half profiting it for money to get people to come back, and it's sad. I had to say that because I'm with you on what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm seeing the comments right now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to I want to get to them right now because I'm just seeing JJ Souza right now. He said, "So give them more time," is what you're saying. Absolutely not. I don't think they should have any more fucking time because they're already behind. And when I think of this, I thought to think they've already known.
Mm-hmm.
And if they've already known, and there's a couple of things that are going on, all right, they just don't fucking care because they're making money off of it. Or they wanna make it seem like, oh, we're gonna do something about it. Let's do fundraisers that way we can do more programs for these people. Get them into programs, get them into fucking, some type of bed for this fucking private chat. They are whatever they're trying to fucking raise money for, all right? But do you realize, like, the money that they're raising to help these people, they're not really doing nothing.
They're not.
I bet you any money they do a fundraiser to fucking start helping people. Let's just say you get $250,000, just for an example, okay? You raise $250,000 to get some type of program going, but then all of a sudden you're down to like maybe 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever.
They're making money off the Narcan. That's all it is. Okay, we're gonna push this out to make more money off Narcan.
Yep. We're just gonna do the Narcan. That way they could fucking, that way, we'll enable them to keep doing drugs. But don't worry, we'll save you just so you can kill yourself again, kill yourself again, kill yourself again.
I know here.
It's crazy, man.
I know here in Ohio, if you overdose,
she said only give them 60 days in jail. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, do more. Let me tell you something. Me personally, okay, my last stint, I was supposed to go into rehab for 21 days. 21 days then turned into 45. And then just when I thought I was coming out, a warrant popped. I had to go from freaking, because I was in Plymouth. So what they could is they can't just let me out. I have a warrant, right? So I had to get out on my scheduled date, go to the Plymouth courthouse, have a judge, hopefully, sign off to release me or freaking throw me right back in where I came from, whatever the case is. They then told me I had to report to the Fall River Courthouse by 2:30 that exact same day. All right? And thank you, Jerry, for that with the methadone. Alyssa, remind me of that real quick about the methadone.
I will.
Afterwards. And then that's when they sentenced me, when I went to the Fall River courthouse. Actually, I got lucky. I shouldn't even call it really a sentence. I got slapped with a two-year probation to get a continuing without a finding. But that was me. So, talking about that, when I was getting out, I was afraid because they wanted to put me in either a sober home or or they wanted me to go to outpatient clinic. And I said, I will do anything except I'm not going to do methadone. Do you want to know why? Because methadone, in my opinion, makes you look worse.
I believe the same with Suboxone.
Every time I hear methadone, I think of that pot and Little Nicky when it's just like, the Lord gave my son the strength to get off drugs.
Yes, I think of
And he
that
turns
too.
around and he's like, listen, ma'am, I know your son, and he was better off on the drugs. You know what I mean? Because like methadone makes you look like you're gonna fucking die already. You know what I mean? So I was like, hey, listen, I'm gonna do Suboxone. Because at least with Suboxone, I don't have to worry about my skin turning like that.
Hmm.
Then I finally heard about Vivitrol.
I've tried that.
Okay. And you know what? Thank God I heard about Vivitrol. Because you know what? Listen, nobody knows us better than we know ourselves, right?
Hmm.
So let's suppose I'm having a bad day. Okay. And I have 3 Suboxone left. All right. I can go sell those motherfuckers for like $5-10 a pop. I can collect that money and I can go right back out on the street and freaking get my drug of choice. You know what I mean? Wait, to the Vivitrol, it was perfect for me. Why? Because I literally have to walk my ass into the clinic every 28 days. Well, I switched it from 28 to 21 because I noticed around days 24 and 25, like my cravings would start coming back.
Yeah.
Well, once I switched to the 21 days, it was so much better. So much better. And not only that, I didn't have to worry about withdrawing. Whereas with Suboxone, if I were to be taking Suboxone, I can withdraw off of that.
Hmm.
All right, and it's almost like with going back to methadone, that's just like telling everybody, we know you're an addict, but you know what? Here, this is from the government or the state. Here's your first free dose of the day.
Don't
Thank
forget they
you.
pay you to do it.
And they fucking pay you to do it. Yes. Isn't that nuts?
It is nuts.
You're going to pay me to go to the clinic? Absolutely. Let's fucking go. You know, fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. You know, so yeah. Do you think Narcan saves lives? You know what? It does save lives.
It
It
does.
really does. But you know what? You have to take that with a grain of salt too. Because unless if that Narcan is being used to help save a life and putting them directly in a treatment facility for them to get help, you mean then like what good does it really do? Like there's a lot of addicts out there where they'd be like, you know, not all of them are gonna be like, oh shit, I overdosed, got hit with Narcan. I need to go fucking get straight. No, some of them are just gonna be like, oh man, if I overdose, they're gonna hit me with Narcan and I'll be all right.
It's like, here, I'll give you the instructions. So if I'm going to take this amount, and if something happens, you use this, and here's an extra one just in case if that one don't work. Who really wants to do that?
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, not me. My flashbacks of me fucking dying or fucked up things that I have done are bad as it is. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking horrible. You know? So, you know, yeah, you know, that's on that. Blaze, can we pop up some more comments that were like at the very beginning? So let die. No. No. I wouldn't want anybody to die. I want people to see their true potential in themselves. I've seen people worse than me pull themselves out of the dumps. That helped motivate me and made me think to myself, fuck, I thought I was bad. I mean, I think of it as looking like watching an episode of Jerry Springer. You know, when they say, like, if you think your life's bad, turn on an episode of Jerry Springer, you can see that it can be a lot worse. To me, it's almost like a real life event, real life situation going on. Whereas I see these things, and it helps motivate me. Even, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. Tell them, will you answer comments when you come back? So yeah, guys, we're gonna have some extra time here on the show today. Keep these comments going. I appreciate Blaze for giving us more time today. Because I really want to elaborate on all this a lot more. So please, go get another drink, something to eat real quick. Go to the bathroom, significant other, whatever the case is, real quick, and we'll see you right back after this messages. What's up? Welcome back. So let's
back.
Comments now, guys. We're gonna start from the very beginning and work our way up to present. So Blaze, if we can start popping them up, please. I know I've seen a few that I really want to get to. So Coach says, let's get it. What's up, Coach? Thank you for coming in. My voice is my power. Oh, look, we got her on the other side. Catherine said, hey, welcome in, girl. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with us. We got Fallon up in here. How you doing, Fallon? Appreciate you for joining. Katie Ann, what's up, girl? How are you? It wasn't me. She calls me Shaggy all the time because I'll tell her I'm Shaggy. It wasn't me all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So she's great. Oh, I see a really good comment right now that I can't wait to get to.
Hey,
Yo, hey,
Junior.
what's up, Junior? How are you, my man? We got a lot of people in the house today. I appreciate you guys coming in here. Yo, welcome. I appreciate you, Dark Wolf. I really do. And look, Ma's in the house. Hello and good evening, everybody. Good evening,
Hi,
Ma.
Kimberly.
Like, let's get to these those All right, so JJ Souza says, I'll tell you what changed. We blame everyone else and not take responsibility in what we do. Man, fucking absolutely. That's hitting the nail right on the head right there.
It
You know what I
is.
mean? And I think if any situation, instead of freaking pointing the finger, I always tell everybody there's a reason there's a difference between an excuse and a legit reason. To me, I feel excuses are leaning more towards a lie, a delay in something. I mean, whereas to a reason is the exact reason. It was the fucking problem. And nothing's gonna change for anybody unless if you fucking just get it out, swallow your pride, be a man, be a woman, whatever the case, and fucking admit your faults. You can go forever and a day fucking blaming anybody. Fucking admit your faults. You'll probably feel like shit for a little bit. But you know what? Admit it. Because you know what? Then you have nothing holding you back anymore. You don't have anything in the back of your mind to fucking,
And no one has
worry about.
and no one
I mean,
has
it's
anything to
all out
say.
in the open. This
Hmm.
generation is soft. That's what's changed. This generation is ridiculously soft. Parents and children. But like we were saying already, it starts at home. It starts with the parents. Spend time with your kid. Talk to your kid. Teach your children responsibility. Don't fucking
Exactly.
argue with them until you're fucking blue in the face and they're still not listening to you. Get their asses out there fucking doing something. We blame social media and video games. Exactly. Fucking
Mm.
video games, tablets, computers, all this other shit. All this 9 yards. A doctor is to blame for an individual abusing prescription drugs. Once again, that's it's situational. You know what I mean? I think doctors don't help none. You know what I mean? At least most of them now. Anyway, why? Because there's money involved for every script that they write. Every script. And then instead of leaning them off when the time comes, they're just giving them another script. And then by the time they're noticing something's not right, it's already too late. Why? Because they're out there out on the streets wanting to fucking get more. What's the purpose of talking on a subject, giving your opinion, if you can't hear the opinion for the other side? I always say there's 3 sides to every story. This one, that one's, and the truth.
Yep.
And it seems nowadays nobody wants to accept the truth.
Nope.
Nobody wants to talk about the truth.
You could say the truth
Everything that
is
I
in the
basically
face of
talk
your
about
mind.
on this show, nobody wants to fucking talk about. Why? Because they're hiding from it. Either they're hiding from it, they're not probably educated on it enough. The game is the babysitter. Yep, that's exactly right. You know what I mean? But if you were to be like, hey, I'm going out to Domino's, they've got PlayStation in there now. Will you go out to eat with us then? Yeah. Oh, now you're going to fucking go. You know what I mean? Or setting the standard is the most important thing. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know now, even in like hair salons or like some barber shops, they've got video games sitting in there.
Yep.
Why? Because I don't know why. It's like, what is that teaching anybody? You know what I mean? Like, of course, when you bring your child for the first couple of haircuts, you know what I mean? Of course, they're going to be like, they're not used to it.
Exactly.
But like, even with my kids, now it's to the point where like they love going to the barber shop. They love it. They'll sit down and just like a barber's supposed to do. Your best friend, your counselor. They'll just sit there and have a flat out conversation with them.
Then about your
My
day.
kids freaked out too the first few times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having a line of communication with your children is important. It's very important, and that's why like put more time in. You know what I mean? Like if you're a doctor, a nurse, and you or whatever you do for work, and you put so much effort into that, put that same effort into your children. If your child can come to you knowing that they can talk to you as a parent, you have one. Yes,
Exactly.
and I think that's very important. And when parents turn around and they're like, I can't be taking kids. Look, I'm getting out of breath because it's so fucked up how parents are. You know what I mean? If a situation is freaking 911 fucking red zone, I'm sorry. I know we all got bills to pay. We all have freaking stuff to get done during the day. I get it. But you know, if you don't take that day off of work that you don't want to fucking take off, you're not helping the matter none as far as your child's behavior goes. And that is going to affect your child and you in the long run. You know what I mean? It's going to affect you in the long run. And then when you fucking cry boo-hoo that you tried everything, you know what I mean? You're full of shit. You're
You
lying
had
directly to my fucking face because you didn't do nothing. Nothing. You just fucking yelled at them instead of getting to the root of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fucking crazy. You're fucking lazy.
Exactly.
All right? And then when your child comes home fucking treating you like a bag of dog shit. You know what? I wouldn't condone any child to disrespect their parent, but guess what? You caused it.
Mm-hmm. No discipline.
Because you don't discipline your kid and you don't show enough that you give fuck. Oh, well, I buy them $100 pairs of shoes and I buy them $400 fucking gaming systems or $1,000 gaming systems now with PS5s and all that other shit. I mean, you know what? You dirty bastard. My father used to do that. My father, when he would fucking take off or whatever, he just thought he could come right over, pull out his fucking wallet and be like, here, Snickles, here's $100. Or, hey, Snickles, guess what daddy bought you and whatnot. Yeah, that's nice. I like my new bike. I like my new drum set. I
Are
like
you
that daddy gave me $100 so I can go buy the new freaking cap gun at the store or the new fucking Nerf gun, whatever the case is. But you trying to buy my love instead of being a fucking parent?
Mario, that was the same way. I
Fuck
call them,
you.
oh, here's $100. Go pick it up at Western Union.
What have you done to help? What have you done to help the community, to help with the situation in your community? You know, I like that question.
I do too.
Want to know why?
Why?
I don't know if it was, I think it was my episode last week. Whereas to, I hope that these conversations that I've had with people within my community, coming onto this show and talking about these various different things, I hope that that's enough just for whatever I can talk to people about and then them go talk to other people about it and then, you know, spread the word. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what? There's days when I come in front of all you guys and I feel like I haven't done enough. You know, especially, you know, like last week I talked, you know, I've lost a friend that I was talking to not too long ago. You know what I mean? My other friends that I've lost or relatives that I've lost, I genuinely feel like on some days that I'm not doing enough, and there's always room for improvement and room for me to be able to do more. You know what I mean? And some days I beat the shit out of myself about it, fucking thinking about it.
But
And that's why I like when all you guys come here, listen, or you guys call me, contact me to have these conversations. I don't mind having them. Yeah, you know what I mean? It beats the piss out of me sometimes. It mentally exhausts me. But if I know it's going to help somebody out in the long run, please call me. Hit me up on social media. If it's going to benefit you in the long run, or help you to help somebody else in the long, I don't care how exhausted I am. I'm that type of person. Reach out to me. Oh, I can't do it, Nick, because I know you're busy, and, I just don't want to interrupt you. Fucking interrupt me. I want to hear about this. Especially if you're not that educated. I got plenty of social media websites where anybody can fucking hit me up. That's why we don't need to shelter our children from the reality of things in the world. Open communication.
exactly,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Blaze, can you please pop up that comment before Fallon's, please, from Justin? I didn't get to read that. If you don't mind, please. And those are people who don't belong having or being around children. Exactly.
There's some people wanting to be a parent and they can't be. I think I said that last week on my show, or I think
You
I
know,
had a conversation with somebody about it.
especially these people just fucking each other just so that they can have another kid and collect more fucking food stamps.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's all
fucking
this, and especially with
mind-boggling.
tax money too. They get a tax write off, as for a dependent.
I mean, and then what is it? I think it's China, where it's like you're only allowed to really have one child unless if you're financially stable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that it's China, and then you realize like we should have that type of shit here. You know what I mean? Like if you're not fit to necessarily be a parent with fucking 10,000 kids, you know what I mean? Like if I lend you my car, then you go and hit a pedestrian, should I be held reliable? Or should I be held liable?
No.
Absolutely not. Want to know why? Because anybody who's anybody, especially a vehicle, unless if you're a complete fucking idiot, that's you being generous, lending your car to somebody so they can go out and hopefully get certain things done, right? But shame on that person if they're the ones over there okey doking you to use your car to go, do whatever, and then all of a sudden they're an idiot with your car. Once again, abusing a privilege, all right, because it's not their fucking vehicle, and somebody over here trying to help them. No, man, you shouldn't be liable in that particular situation. Absolutely not. Now they are talking about the drugs and jail time. Okay, all right, let's go.
This is the biggest problem with the world. Sorry, private chat. This is the part of big problem with the world. Others should be held accountable, and other adults abusing drugs. I believe that the people that are actually dealing the drugs should be more held accountable and everything, honestly, in my opinion, and the people that are caught with it. But honestly, they're not really doing anything. They want to throw jail time without actually giving them help. I don't know what you think, but that's my opinion. They need to be a little more structured with that.
Yeah, we give out methadone on the friggin' taxpayer's dollar, and you know what they should be utilizing more? Places like mass rehab.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa, I wouldn't expect you to know what that is, but I think we talked about that on the very first time I had you as a guest on my show. Mass rehab is a facility that as soon as you get out, you go inpatient. Well, this is how I did it. You do inpatient, outpatient, I mean, for the clinic. Go in and get my
Yeah.
Vivitrol. And then if you want to continue your education or try to get a better job, there's a place like Mass Rehab, who I think more money should be dumped into to help people, who will help you get you back into school, help you find a job, get you a certificate or someplace like that. There should be more places like that going around. Do you think Narcan saves lives? It does save lives. It does save lives, but
People are getting too comfortable.
people are going to be way too comfortable. That's why I think it's important. If you have to use that Narcan, automatically send them to get help. Automatically. And I honestly think there should be no less than at least 60 days in these type of facilities. Why? Because the first 30 days of getting sober is crucial, as it is. So when should we give the Narcan? You should give the Narcan exactly when it's called for. When the overdose happens, absolutely, fucking hit them with that shit. But they need to go directly into a facility. I know so many people that they can't seem to get past day 10 of being sober. And you know what, man? I've been like that a couple times with just quitting cigarettes alone. You know what I mean? Where it's like the first few days, like I'm going nuts or whatever, it seems to like subside. But then for whatever reason, like around day 10 or whatever, it's just like, oh, I gotta have that nicotine. You know what I mean? I gotta have that cigarette. You know what I mean? What happened to NA meetings in the 12 steps? 12 steps, they need to push that shit more. The 12 steps. NA meetings, I honestly got to be honest with this too. When I got out, I tried, and once again, every area is different.
Yep.
Can't stress that enough. Every area is different. But for me here, especially being in a place like Fall River, I've gone to a couple of NA meetings right home. And you know what? I turned right around and I said, I can't fucking do this. Want to know why? Because a lot of these people aren't here to get help. Want to know what they are here for, though? They're here to make connections. You are abusing a place like an NA meeting where people really want to go and get help and hear other people's stories. And you're not here for that. You're over here just looking around to see who you can connect with to go on that fucking next run with.
Yep, 13th
and that's shitty.
Something too.
All right, I would much rather see somebody friggin' probably dozing out in a fucking NA meeting. You know what I mean? Like, it's gotten absolutely nuts. Watch the documentary called Addicted. Okay. I've honestly never even heard of that, to be honest with you.
No, but I'm going to write that down.
There's another show. You never see that Intervention show?
Yeah.
I can't stand that fucking show.
I can't either.
I know she's watching. My mother watches that. And you know what, man? Having gone through the freaking phase, seeing it on both sides, that fucking show is full of shit. All right, I think I've seen maybe like 2 fucking episodes that actually make sense. And then the other ones are just like, get the fuck out of here. That doesn't really happen. It's on Netflix. All right, Jerry, I will be sure to check that out. Thank you for telling me about that. I really appreciate it. I asked my kids, what was the best part of your day? That's what I wanted to go back to, because I think, yes, Jerry also said that too. He said, ask your child, what was one thing you learned in school today at the supper table? It's a good conversation start. And you know what, Jerry? You are so right. Want to know why? You know what goes up my fucking ass sideways? Is when your kid just left school and you're either on the car ride home or, they're just getting dropped off in front of the house in the bus. And you're like, hey, I have boys, so I'm just going to say, hey, bud, you know what I mean? How was your day in school? Oh, good. Oh, what'd you learn?
month.
I don't know. You just fucking left school. What do you mean you're gonna tell me you don't know? You know what I mean? Or like fucking when they go to do their homework and they're like, can you come help me with this? And it's just like, if you know what's going on with the schoolwork, then you know. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that coin, you're also like, weren't you paying attention in class today? Like, you legitly learned all this. Now they're just giving you the homework on it to keep your mind sharp on the subject. And you don't know what you just learned literally a half an hour ago? That's fucking insane, guy.
It really is. And the thing is, a lot of kids are like, well, they're not teaching me the right way, or I'm having a hard problem. And it's not just the parents, it's the teachers in the school too. I will say that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like Fallon just said, I let them decompress after school, and then I ask. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Because, like, I understand they don't want to be bombarded with shit that, as soon as they come home. They were just in school for 8.5 hours a day. You know what I mean? Some kids even longer. Like, if you count them going to school and then going to freaking daycare afterwards and then coming home. You know what I mean? So I get that too. You know what I mean? But then when you still get the response from, I don't know, or they just don't want to do it, that just burns a hair across my ass. You know what I mean? So we actually we're gonna close shop. But my message today to everybody is, please, for the love of God and to prevent any harm to either yourself or your child going in the future, communicate with your children, please. I'm not saying to be their best friend, okay? But what I am, form that respect, form that bond. That way your kid knows it's okay to come and talk to you. All right? Because I always say, utilize your resources, guys. Utilize your resources. And us as parents, we're that number one resource to our children. And then if we can't nip it in the bud now,
then who can?
There's going to be issues in the future. And then you're going to ask yourself, why? God forbid you wake up one day, something bad happens to your children. Then that's when you're going to start thinking, I should have done this better. I should have done that better, when it shouldn't have to come to that. You can start right now. There is no tomorrow. Start now. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Start now. For you and your children. Talk to them. Keep them safe. Show them that you really want to be a parent without just buying them things just to shut their fucking mouths.
Do something as a family.
A unit. All right? A wolf pack. A team. That's what you need to be. Watch this video real quick.
And I'm a pharmacist. I can almost remember every piece of my life. I have hundreds of hours from wiretapping phone conversations about what happened to me. My son was murdered buying crack. The police have the attitude that these kids maybe got what they deserved. But I was determined to get the killer off the street. And if the police wasn't going to do it, I was going to do it. At first, my mission was to get justice for my son. But then I started noticing in the drugstore, a lot of kids around my son's age coming in with high-powered opiate prescriptions for OxyContin.
Word on the street was it's just heroin and a pill.
There was a certain doctor using her license to virtually decimate my community. I couldn't look the other way.
There was a rumor that there was a pharmacist making a lot of noise, and that's not good for business.
He had questions all the time. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?
There were boxes and boxes of materials.
All right, Dan, we're not being recorded again, are we?
No. The DA and FBI was either incompetent or in cahoots.
I just knew that people were making money.
If there ever was a smoking gun, that was it.
I am being followed.
We sounded crazy.
I think they're waving a gun at me.
Help me, God, and hopefully anybody else who hears this, because I'm losing it.
And I saw this opiate epidemic in its infancy. I'm not going to let this drug continue to kill.
So that's a small clip of the documentary Addicted. I'm gonna check that out before next week's episode, and I will discuss it next week. I'm
gonna
actually
watch.
looking forward to watching that. This is, as fucked up as it is, but this is my life, and these are things that I honestly like watching, not only to help educate myself, but to also help educate you guys in the long run. So having said that, Alyssa, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor and a privilege, as always. I want to
I
thank everybody
appreciate
for
you.
coming in today. Anytime. I want to thank everybody for coming in today and watching the episode. We went over quite some time today, and I want to thank Blaze for that as well. And like
Thank
I
you
said,
guys for
guys,
coming on.
do the right thing to be a parent, communicate, love each other, don't judge. All right? And be there for one another. Always reach out. Okay? You never know whose life you can save. Until next week, guys. I love you guys.
Have a good night, you guys.